So I'm gonna put a praise on it. I'm gonna put a praise on it. I praise him not because everything is going my way. That's not why I praise him necessarily. I praise him because he's God. And if everything falls apart in my life, he's still God. And if I don't get the job that I asked for, he's still God. And if I don't get the truth from the doctor that I was looking for, he's still a healer. Oh, my circumstance doesn't change who he is. My circumstance doesn't change my understanding of who he is. So I praise him because I understand that he's bigger than me. He's bigger than it. He's bigger than what you said. He's bigger than your attitude. He's bigger than your attitude. Oh my day, I feel attitude in here today. And I arrest your flesh by the anointing of the Holy Ghost. Therefore I might say, do you not know that your attitude that you came in here today with is operating in the spirit of witchcraft? Anytime, yes, Lord. I talk to your people. Anytime you come into God's house and you come with an attitude, you're operating like a witch. Because now you're saying whatever it is that aggravated you is greater than your God. Come on. Come on. Uh-oh. And some of y'all got 3 minutes to repent. But whatever aggravated you, get in the eclipse the presence of God. Some of y'all, I'm going to speak this over your life. And it's not a curse, it's just fact. The Bible says, to him that honors me, I'll honor him. Now you got to be able to be smarter than a 5th grader. That means to him that does not honor me, I don't honor him. Uh-oh. You can mute all that. Mute all that. You got 60 seconds to ask God to forgive you for having an attitude in his presence. Because the truth of the matter is this: if you got an attitude in his presence and you won't let his presence shift you, then his presence will move you. I don't want to be that pastor today, but you're going to make me be that pastor. You can have an attitude if you want to in the house of God. You need to check yourself, you need to check your source, and check why you do what you do and why you came for the reason you came. If you came looking for God to do something for you, you came with the wrong agenda. Because the only reason you come to his house is to give something to him. The Bible says you come to offer up something. Now watch this. He's so awesome and he's so sweet that in return he blesses you. But he's not obligated to do anything else other than what he did on the cross. Y'all gonna make me shift into something else. But I can't let you do the way we've been in God's presence. See, it's an indication that some of y'all didn't pray this week because you got an attitude. You didn't pray like you're supposed to pray. Pastor, how you know I can smell attitude in the atmosphere? I can smell attitudes and I can smell flesh. I can smell flesh that is not submitted to the will of God for your life. Well, here we go again. We're going to do it like he said. We're going to do it, woman of God, like the Bible says. Matthew or Mark. No. Psalm says, make a joyful. Watch this. Some of y'all make noise, but it's filled with attitudes. It ain't joyful, so that means it's loud in here, but God ain't receiving it. See, you get confused with noise in this sanctuary that is pleasing unto God. Oh, God, that's real good teaching. We better get that real good. Noise in here don't mean he's receiving it. That's right. I'm going to say it again till your flesh is agitated. Noise in this room, Tanya, does not mean that it's going before the king. What makes my offering pleasing unto God? Come on, sir. When what I offer him comes out of a sweet spirit. Yes. If your spirit ain't sweet, you don't need to offer nothing, because what you offer is now strange fire. And strange fire is a swift way to get your tail cut off. Y'all made me step into something else.
My God. Help us.
I want to be your fun preacher. I want to be the one that just prophesy balloons and roses.
Help us.
But let me help you real good, y'all. We got to get ourselves together, Jacoby, and we got to do it right. Watch this. If we ain't going to do it right, we don't need to do it.
That's right.
See, because out of everybody you want to talk about, when you want to talk about religious folk, some of y'all want to talk about churches being religious. It's religious when you come in here with your same agenda. That's a religious spirit. When you don't come expecting nothing new and nothing fresh, and that's a religious spirit. When you think, watch this, that the weight of God's glory is just going to show up like it did the Sunday before if you don't put nothing in it. That's a religious spirit. Okay, talk to me, Jesus. It ain't just First Baptist down the street that you keep trying to condemn because they ain't got the Holy Ghost and you call it religious. You can be religious with the tongue-talking Holy Ghost being down in his name. If you don't put nothing on the altar, there will be no fire in the room. My God, today. Tap your neighbor and say, neighbor, whatever's on you, you got 60 seconds to get it off of you. And some of y'all ain't get it off of you. I'm not telling you how to get it off of you. You better know how to get it off of you. I ain't got it on me, so that's why I ain't doing nothing. But whatever you need to do, if you need to lay right here, you need to lay out. If you need to lay on your back and holler, Lord, help me do it. I don't care. Whatever your position is, you need to get it off of you, because watch this. It is the trick of the enemy to keep you out of your next place of deliverance. That's real good, God. And I got a good mic hitting anointing on me today. I told Siobhan when he got the car, didn't I? I said, I didn't see you at prayer this morning. See, the Lord is beating my butt, so I'm going to beat yours. You can't keep being around me and you ain't talking to the God that I'm talking to. Know what I'm talking? I said, I got a good belt for you too. He said, well, Pastor, just don't hit me across my face. I said, belts ain't for faces, belts is for butts. Now he's smart, because he know I don't hit him with no belt. But what was I saying? Pull up your bootstraps. Watch this. If you go to work tired, if you go to work aggravated, if you go to work with a headache, if you go to work with the flu, some of y'all went with the flu. You go to work with fevers, you go to work, your child flunked class on Monday, you still went to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Then Sunday ain't the day for you to allow life to tell you that you can't go talk to God.
That's right. That's right.
Because the truth of the matter is, most of the church is spiritually immature. So this is their only moment that they get a chance to see a glimpse of God. And you're going to let the devil talk you out of an hour and 45 minutes a week? The devil is a liar. You can go to work, you can open up stores, you can make lunches, you can do all that, and then you have an excuse for why you can't get to the house of God. That is a spirit called DECEPTION. And deception is ruling the apostolic believers. Because most of us thinking we're doing it the way God expected us to do it, and we're not. And see, we confuse pastors with God. So you think because you offer me a lame excuse that God is receiving it.
Come on, sir.
And the truth of the matter is, I'm telling you, I ain't God. I ain't got no heaven or hell to put you in. I don't hold a gavel in my hand concerning your life. So you don't need to be trying to serve man and not serving God. You got to get the word right, and you got to do it properly, Christian. We got to serve God, and when we serve God properly, the leadership that he's placed over our lives, they'll be okay. But most of y'all think that the extent of God is the extent of your pastor. So that means you offer your pastor something lame, and he says it's okay. And so you go on believing that God is winking at your ignorance.
Come on, teach us. That's good.
And because I smile and kiki don't mean God is smiling and kiki. So you need to get that out of delineation today, that there's a difference between me and the Father.
That's right.
Because you text me and I send you back, it's okay, does not mean that God sent back a text, okay. You ain't gonna get me in trouble with God. I ain't God. What you offer me, you better make sure that it's pleasing unto him Because the truth of the matter is, what you're offering to me is you may be offering an excuse to the intercessor that's standing between you and God, the judger. But it does not mean that the judger is receiving what you gave the intercessor.
That's it. Help us serve, man.
I was going to teach on something else. But we need some help. Desiree, we need some help, Shatika. What's your name, man? I don't want to scare you. What's your name? Tasha, don't be scared, precious. Come back. We need help. We need help. We need help. We need help. Can you just be truthful and say, Father, I need help? I need help. And watch this. I don't need help to get nothing else. So I told God this morning, God, I just want to be ready. I want to be saved. Like for real. I don't want no more stuff. Watch this. Because I can get stuff without God. You don't really believe that. You really can. You really can. There are people who don't believe in God and they live better than you live. So if we're going to equate it to natural, then let me go natural. There are atheists that's living the high life in this life. But when they lose this life, they're going to be living the low life.
That's right.
So don't stop serving God and getting an attitude with God because you ain't living like a roller over here. When some of your rolling would roll on you if you would learn to walk in obedience.
That's right. That was today, sir.
Some of y'all stressing yourselves trying to make stuff happen when all God wants you to do is submit to his will for your life. And everything that he has for you will be released upon you according to your submission.
Yes. Yes.
Sub! Come under. Come under. Come under it all. All of it. All of it. All of it, Brother Paul. All of it. Come under it all. Come under it all. Under it all. Under it all. You can take a seat. Come under it all. Serve this under it all. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Before I left the house today, and the Lord just reminded me of this. I came to deal with a spirit, a lying spirit, that wants to call the church an occult. Let me help you real good. If you look up the definition of occult, cult is any movement where all the people, I'm paraphrasing for you, kind of act the same, talk the same, walk the same. But watch this. The reason the church is not an occult is because we are not brainwashed to follow flesh. Okay? So there's your difference. Some people are trying to figure out the difference between a church and a cult. The church leads you to God. You are here to follow God. He gives you an under shepherd to train you and teach you in the ways of God, but not to teach you and train you in the ways of your under shepherd. Does that make sense? Okay, let me bring clarity. In other words, if I told you to follow me, Tanya, take your sister and her daughter there, and we all gonna go to the Alabama River, we're gonna jump in it, and hopefully we stay alive, that's an occult. That's foolishness and it's demonic. But if I tell you, follow me as I follow Christ, what I do, what God tells me to do, and what the success and the glory and the honor and the anointing and the fire and the oil that increases on my life, if you would do what I do as I follow him, it shall be your portion. That is not an occult. Okay? I need to clear that up in here this morning. Okay? Because some of y'all being confronted with lying tongues on the street, and you don't know how to respond. You don't even know what you believe. You believe it's real, but nah, it might be an occult. No, it ain't no occult. It ain't no more of an occult than ASU is an occult. ASU, when you get there, they train you to become Hornet Nation. You can't be Hornet Nation and be supporting the Bulldogs in Huntsville. Not overtly anyway. Okay, the church ain't no more of a cult than we are when we go to cosmetology school. When we get to cosmetology school, they don't care how gifted and naturally talented you are. There is a curriculum that you follow so you can get your certification. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, because they got to get where you can understand it. Okay, because folks saying, well, they want you to be like them. The church wants you to be, the church want to control you. Yes, because this is what happened. How the church was born was not born because we wanted it to be a church. The church was born, Jazz, out of a bunch of pagan folk. They came from another system. So when the church was born in Acts, then the apostles had to retrain their thinking because now you are in a different system. You are under another God. Watch this. You are now serving the real God. They grew up being paganistic. They were worshiping everything that could be an idol. So now to come into truth, the apostles had to preach with such structure and place boundaries so that the believer would understand that this is now different from what you were in before you got saved. That's good teaching. It's better than your amen. Because some folk think that you get saved and you can still remain how you were. That's a spirit called liar. When God saves you and changes your name, hello, then your characteristics should exemplify the transformation of your name. That's good teaching. It's good teaching. You can roll your eyes, you can close your ears. I'm going to teach it to the blood in your veins ready to explode out of you. Because some of y'all on your way to hell speaking in tongues out of here.
Come on, sir.
It's just the whole truth. You just think because we prophesy the atmosphere and glory falls that you can just live any kind of way and still make it in. The devil is a liar. And the Lord assigned me for this next few weeks to replace every pillar of the kingdom back in the church so that the church will understand that there are guidelines, there are rules, and there are regulations to becoming a citizen of the kingdom. If you want to be a church member, this is not the house for you. We are kingdom citizens. Church folk go and come when they want to. Citizens of the kingdom, when they don't feel like it, they still have to serve God. Preach it until you deaf in your ear. Next person you say call make you deaf won't be Jacoby in the bed. It's going to be me on this loud mic. I'm going to be hollering in your ear like he's hollering in mine because he's shaking everything up that is not like him because something is about to be released upon the land. And if you find yourself being churchy, you're going to be destroyed. You got time to be... what's them roses? You know, you used to have flowers on the little cartoons. He loved me. He loved me not. He loved me. He loved me not. That's what some of y'all act with God, Marcus. Some days you just on cloud 20. God is your best thing. You just flying through the air. You just want to bless everybody you see. And then the devil just slips a tag under you, and now you roll your eyes at the same folk that you were just blessing, the same folk you were just praising, now you hate them. The same folk that you was taking out to eat, now you cursing them. The same folk that's wrong with you. I know it is. You got the same spirit they had in the days of Jesus. Because before they crucified him, they was praising him, saying, King of Kings. So it doesn't change the same spirit. It's just when folk operate in the spirit of God, Brother Smoke, they can get with Jesus. But when they get in their flesh, that's why you got to crucify your flesh daily. That's why we got to beat ourselves. Paul said, I have to beat myself black and blue. That means there are days I want to just walk in flesh. There are days where my flesh, I want to submit to my flesh. But Paul says, because I know that I'm filled with the Spirit of God, that whatever it takes to get my flesh subjected to the Spirit of God that's on the inside of me, that's what I'm going to do. So if my eyes are causing me to stumble, then I'm going to ask God to shut them. If my mouth is keeping me in trouble, then I'm going to ask God to shut my mouth. Whatever it takes for my spirit man to mature, then that's what I'm willing to submit to. That's good. You hear that? Tap it in and say, neighbor. And I can't blame you for my foolishness. There are standards that got to come back. There were walls that have to be rebuilt. I was finding this morning, the Lord said, rebuild the wall. Rebuild it. Get it back to where it's supposed to be. Watch this. Before religious systems tore them down. See, we think because we remove walls that God is okay with the renovation. You better talk to me, God. How you going to renovate a house that you didn't build? Talk to me, Jesus. See, when you buy your house and you don't like the wall that's in the kitchen, you can knock it down. But in the kingdom of God was not designed nor built by man. God designed it. He's the master architect. Therefore, you can't move what he placed in the kingdom. It's real good. It's real good. Real good, God. I'm going to get myself together. I got to get myself together because I got some place to go. Everybody just be jamming. I mean, they play the nightclub a morning ago. And we think because we just singing it, we on our way. No, you don't go because you sing it. You didn't go because you sing it, you going to heaven. You going to heaven because you living like you going to heaven. That's what's wrong with the church. All we do is sing stuff, but we don't live stuff. We sing about holiness and we live like sinners. We speak in tongues and cuss folk out and say, God, you got to be okay with that because that's who I am. The devil is a liar. He said, be ye holy. Oh, no. Let me bind up. Let me rewind it before he got to be holy. He said, because of he who hath called you is holy. Be ye holy, for I am holy. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, the word be does not mean become. That should help you right there. When you come into God, you can't become holy. See, because some of y'all want to use the excuse that what's his name? God rest his soul. He went on. Yeah, he wrote a song. Please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet. I love Judge Stephen, but it was not biblical. Because God said be. See, I'm telling you to be patient with me. Watch this. It is excuse for me not to come up to what God is requiring of me. Hear my word again, Jacob. It is an indication that I'm more fleshy than spiritual when I say, please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet. And make a whole band. When God gets through with me. When is it going to happen? You've been singing for 20 years. When does God go complete the assignment? You making me think your God is weak, that he can't get some flesh under control. The devil is a liar. It ain't God that lost power. It ain't the devil that gained none. It's you and your flesh and your will to sin. When God gets through with me, woo! In my jam on man, God gets through with me, woo! We will come up as pure gold. See, that part is true, but here's the problem. You didn't know that to get pure gold to come, there's going to be fire on this side, there's going to be fire on this side, there's going to be fire in the front of you, there's going to be fire behind you, and you keep crying because it's too hot. No, you said you want to come forth as pure gold. So yeah, in the context of what he's saying, God may not be through with you yet because you keep jumping out the fire. That's good, God. I'll live with that. I'll walk in that. You keep jumping out. That's why you can't get finished. Have you ever seen a ceramic get up off of the potter's wheel? Matter of fact, if you really know what you're doing, before it looks like a vase, it's a bunch of clay. And it takes the visionary on the inside of you to form what you see. Oh, God, that's real good. So in other words, God knows when you look like what he created. And the quickest way to get to your next calling is to stay on the potter's wheel. Yes. The potter wants to put you back together again. Watch this. He can't put back what ain't never been together. You hear that? And So we just go sing a whole bunch of stuff. Watch this. Ain't never been submitted to the will of God, and you think He's going to put you back together to still walk in disobedience? God ain't restoring flesh. When the rain falls, it's the rain to descend upon your spirit man, to refresh your spirit man, because your spirit man has been in perpetual states of warfare and turmoil. So God releases rain upon you so that you can be refreshed. Watch this. To continue in your good works. But He's not fortifying you so you can remain disobedient. That would be ludicrous. To keep putting a gun in your hand and know you got the spirit of murder on you. Why would God enable you to murder folk? That's why He wants some of us to remain to be quiet. Because some of us do more damage with our tongue than they doing out there with them guns. You're the first one at the poll trying to vote against the right to own a gun. Here, I need to vote in the church. A right to shut your mouth. Because more folk leaving God because of wagging tongues in the pews than folk leaving the earth because of guns. That's right. You ain't got to say amen. It's the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. We keep making excuses. Watch this, woman of God, for why we have removed. Somebody say this: landmarks. Landmarks. We keep making excuses for why we have removed landmarks. Okay, so we say it like this: it's 21st century. It's 21st century. That's what we did in the old days. That's what they did. Watch this. There were days before we got here. And what's tripped out about humanity, about flesh, is this: every time you think you come on the scene, you think you the beginning. Right. We ain't the beginning. And if God tarries is coming, some of us ain't going to be the ending. It's going to be another generation that comes behind us. But watch this. Every generation that continues to tear down structures, boundaries, and guidelines, what we leave as an inheritance to the next generation is a bunch of confusion. Oh, that's what the world is today. Hey, hey. Those lyrics are powerful. People moving out, boom. People moving in, wow. Because of the color of the skin. Run, 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 but you sure can't hide. That's what folk do in church. People coming in, people coming out. Run, 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 but you sure can't hide. You think if you change your church that God has changed His mind about His order. I'm going to leave Macedonia. I ain't coming back no more because they require you to be holy. That's right. Go to First Catholic Church. But when you get there, I don't care what they tell you. The Bible ain't changed. If you're going to be Catholic, you still got to be holy. If you're going to be Presbyterian, you still got to be holy. If you're going to be Cogent, you still got to be holy. If you're going to be Baptist, you still got to be holy. If you're going to be Methodist, you still got to be holy. Whatever you want to call it, His word is still the same. And every church that I just called, walk in there with holy Bibles. Therefore, they didn't write it and they can't change it. Whatever He put it there, that's what He meant. He did not care what your earthly doctrinal belief is. Well, my everything you get, I want you to be agitated so you can shift like me. We're going to shift together. I keep telling y'all, if we do it together, we got to be a front. We got to be a front. Come here, Corey. You got to stand here. Come here, Ronnie. You got to stand here. Come here, Tanya. You got to stand here. Shatika, come here. You got to stand here. Desiree, get right here. You got to stand here. You got to stand here. Come here, Lauren. You got to stand here. Siobhan, get over here. You got to stand here. You got to stand here. Come here, sweetheart. Maya, you got to stand here. Stand here. Stand here. Come here, sweetheart. Stand right here. Right here. Marcus, come stand to the end of her. Yes, Sister Bailey. Right here. Right here. Right here. Watch this. This is the power of the church. It's the power of the church. Power of the church. What do you do in the church? President. Okay? So you minister and you do what else? You play drums. Okay, good. What do you do? Okay, so you're the praise team, all right? What do you do? Okay, intercessor. Yes, that's what you do. What are you doing? Nothing right now, okay? We got to come back to that. Put a bookmark right there. Okay? What are you doing? Nothing. Okay, what are you doing right now? Praise God, okay? So we're going to put 3 bookmarks right there. What are you doing? Okay, ministry of health. What are you doing? Okay, nothing. So that's 4 nothings. What are you doing? Come to worship with your family. So we got to put a bookmark right there. Okay? What are you doing in the house? Okay, minister of music. Watch this. Here's the problem with the ones that know what they're doing and the ones that don't know their sign. Everybody up here still believes that because they're not the set man of the house, they still have options. Now I got talking today. Y'all might have to listen. I'm going to talk anyway. Because it's not for this house. He's taken, so it's probably for the world. It's probably for social media. Because this house got it together. See, we still think that because we ain't the pastor, that we got options. And we still got Sundays we can pick when we're going to serve. God will help me today. Okay. Now, it's not just this church. That's what's wrong with the global kingdom. Because everybody that don't think I ain't got to be there, don't come when they don't feel like it. Because you don't understand that you really house something on the inside of you. So you let flesh dictate to you that they ain't really going to miss me. That is a spirit called deception. The Bible or the devil knows that you have something good on the inside of you. So what he wants to do is make life be louder than your gift. Because if life can be louder than what you have, you will never produce what you have. You'll listen to life and you'll never show up to the game. I'm not the coach, so I ain't got to say 3 o'clock in the morning. I ain't got to make up plays. I'm just a player. And today I don't feel like it, so I'm going to call Coach Saban and say, I ain't going to make it to the Iron Ball. You know Coach Saban's going to say to you, you've been knowing this game was coming since last November. So you should have gotten yourself together all year long in preparation for this day. You should have been taking vitamin C's because you already knew what time of year it was. You should have been in the weight room lifting weights because you already knew it was going to come. In other words, there are no excuses. I told y'all this and I tell the new folks here. My band director, I didn't get like this just because I'm in church. I got like this because I was trained by heathens to be like this. See, the church is the only entity that does not demand excellence.
Come on, son.
Which is that you do. I'm glad they don't say it here because I'll pull somebody to say it. But back in the day, you used to get them and say, y'all pray for me as I attempt to sing this song. No. What you're going to do is attempt at home. When you get here, we ain't attempting no more. Okay? You attempt at your house. That's what we call practice. We keep attempting to hit certain notes. And when you attempt at home, you say, oh, I can't really, that ain't my register. So when I get to the house, I ain't going to attempt to do that. See, we don't require excellence. So my band director, he told us this. He said, the game starts at 7. You are required to be at the Crampton Bowl at 6 p.m., an hour before the game. Watch this. He said, do not come on my field after 6 p.m. He said, I don't care. Watch this. This is what he said. I don't care about car accidents. I don't care about blowouts. He said, leave your house in enough time to navigate car accidents and to have a blowout of your own. Change your tire and still be on my field at 6 p.m. He used to cuss us out every week. One spirit-filled, one tongue talker. But he required excellence. We used to get after school. I don't care how many shows we had just come home when we were top first in class. Everybody talked about us. They didn't like us because we did core style band music. We didn't do the popping and shaking. We didn't shake it like it's hot. We didn't twerk. So we was talked about all my time I was in high school. Y'all boring. Whatever. We came home all the time. We're first in class. Always had banners. Color guard always number 1. Trumpet line always number 1. Everything always number 1. Watch this. But after our number 1 experiences and coming home with flags and banners, the next day he acted like we had never done anything. We're back on the field now and we're cleaning up the cleanup. Because this is in August. By December, you have to have a whole show put together. We're adding every week, and that means we got to keep going over the foundation before we add to it. But we don't do away with what we learned in August trying to get to December. We keep building on what we got in August, and that's how we get first in class by December. What we want to do in the 21st century church is do away with the foundation, do away with the landmarks, and say, God has made me free. I'm so free. I'm free. Praise Him. Free. I'm so free. Oh, I'm so free. I ain't going back to the more churches where they hold you in bondage. No. Nobody hold you in bondage. If you are bound and in bondage, it's because you have not submitted to the Spirit of God. Because the Bible says it, that he whom the Son sets free is free indeed. You in bondage. Now what you don't like is rules.
Come on, sir.
You don't like order.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
I'm just going to tell the truth. Okay, you don't like order. Okay, watch this. You don't like that. Sister Vicky, you got to help. You got to help because they mad at me today. Okay, watch this. Okay, so let's take away order. I don't like order. I don't like government. I don't like structure. You ain't gonna control me. I'm grown. I did a lot in my house. I ain't no my house. I pay my own mortgage. I pay my own life. I pay my own. Okay, all right. You that moved out of your mama's house and you so grown. Watch this. When we get out there today, don't stop at no more red lights. Come on. Because you're grown. And you don't need structure. And then come back and testify to the church. I don't know if you can talk from the coffin, but try it. Come back and testify to the church how you being free killed you. Did you call that an occult? You call stop signs and control? You don't call that witchcraft? So it's not witchcraft in the kingdom. Folk that keep trying to say the church is an occult is witchcraft, you need to check them. Get them out your ear and out of your spirit. Because they're going to end up taking you and them to hell. I don't care if pastors this morning standing in the pulpit calling it an occult. I don't care if they said God has changed his mind. Let me help you. You need Old Testament because some of y'all think that because we're the New Testament church that the Old Testament does not apply. Let me help you real good. Okay, this one got David in trouble. God gave Moses instructions on how to build the Ark of the Covenant out of. What to build it out of, the dimensions, what to overlay it with, what to carry it on. Watch this. God told Moses, do not carry it on stuff. Put it on the shoulders of authority, on the priesthood. That's the way you carry it. Watch this. Like we tell our children, if I ain't saying nothing different, it's still the same. Now watch this. When David comes on the scene, Jacoby, there's a 400-year gap between the instructions Moses receives and now David being in leadership. So he thinks that because it's been a 400-year gap and now we are contemporary church, that God has changed his mind about what he originally said to Moses. God's helping me today. I don't know if he's helping you, but he's helping me. So David, in his ability, or in his desire, here's a word that's killing this 21st century church. His desire to be relevant. Oh, I ain't got no amens right there. Because some of y'all must use that word. You ain't relevant. You ain't relevant. You ain't relevant. How you can be so relevant with the earth that you use relevancy with God? Oh, God. God is teaching me today, and y'all just in on the conversation. So here it is. 400 years between Moses' instructions and David coming on the scene. Have you noticed that before you got to algebra class, there were people in the 40s that took algebra? And it's still the same? Okay. There may be some new methods to get to that answer. But the structure of algebra is still the structure of algebra. And if you want to pass it, you got to do it like they wrote it. You don't get to go to algebra class and make up your own book. It's in trouble every time. Try to take them shortcuts, take it from me. They was helping me last summer with that pre-cal. You just want to jump to the end. You're like, okay. No, they be like, no, it gotta be this small when it starts, and they gotta come all the way down. You gotta work all this down to the like, yeah, I just want the answer. No. And that's the problem. See, that's the problem in the church. They want to go to the back of the Bible and try to read the definitions and try to read what the Greek means in this. Watch this. The Greek word for fornication. Watch this. Fornication. And fornication is an American term. Fornication is an English term. So God wasn't saying that in the Bible. Okay. And show me in the Greek. Here's the Greek. The Greek word for fornication is porneia. P-O-R-N-E-A. And it means fornication. Is that better? Is that better? Come Now, let's go to the Greek and the Hebrew. Alpha to the Omega. Fornication in America, Western culture, English, diction. Greek, Middle East, pornea. So thou shalt not pornea. Can you flow with that now because it's Greek? Is that better? Yeah. Then go tell folks, the Bible ain't said that. Folks be just making themselves, okay. Just so you don't like the word, thou shalt not kill. So, thou shalt not take another's life. Is that better? Does it sound more holy? Sound more believable? Because you keep thinking, and this is the lie that I really hate to hear in this 21st century church system. The white man added that to the Bible. The white man made that up. So you think because the white man printed it, you ain't gonna live it. Watch this. You and your crazy self. You read that history book that the white man wrote, and you graduated from high school. You read that stop sign, watch this, that the black man made, but the white man hung and tried to get the credit for it, and you stop at stop sign, and you don't kill yourself. So everything that the white man did, watch this, he may have done it, he may have added it, it may not be credit to him, but it still has some truth to it. Watch this. Let's take out everything that the white man printed in the Bible and put yourself on them pages. Tell folks how God changed you from what you used to be. The white man didn't do that. Real good. Shut out folk up, come here. The white man printed that. You don't need to hang with me or something that the white man did. No, I ain't got to believe none of the white man made. Let me tell you, before I got filled with the Holy Ghost, I was a whole mess. That's what you got to tell him. And you really tell them, and since I've been filled, I've been a mess. And the same God that brought me out of that been bringing me out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. What about that? 10. So what's 2 divided by 5? Oh, I'm sorry, what's 10 divided by 5? 2. See that 5 on his head? You see what happens when you go to the math book at the end and don't work the problem?
10 divided by 5 is 2. 5 times 2 is 10.
No, you need something. That's why the Bible said, thank you, Holy Ghost. This is why the Bible said, you must work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. Not scared to live for Jesus, but you remain in awe of what God has required of you. Respect it and reverence what he said. If he said it 400 years ago, if he said it 3,000 years ago, it's still the same. Watch this. He says in his word, I set the solitary in families. It's to you Lone Ranger demons. He said, this is word. I'm giving you all word. I'm not giving you philosophy. I'm not giving you opinion. This is word. He says, I set the solitary in families. That means that the diamonds that we go to pick up from the diamond mine or from the top end jeweler, it's a nice diamond, but the fact of the matter is you don't want to just carry it around in your pocket. Right. If you really think it's worth being seen, if you really think it's worth being purchased so that it can be seen, you're going to set it in something. And God knows how beautiful we are. So he sets us in something that is able to hold us together. Watch this. So that thieves won't come and rob the jewel. And every time you don't want to submit to the structure of the ring, you are a loose diamond waiting for a thief to take you out. But watch this. This is what we got to do. Watch this. Everything I do, y'all do. Okay? We got to teach this. So I'll turn this way. I'm the pastor, but everybody still got to turn. I'll turn this way. There's no need, watch this, to have leadership if nobody's going to be on the ship following the leader. And I turned again this way to the sofa. And now I'm back to the front. So then when service starts at 7:57, this is what I'm going to do. Okay? And what I'm going to do is, I told him this morning. Everybody that talk to me this season, just be careful, because I'm going to tell everything we have a conversation about, I'm telling it over the pulpit, okay? So if you're just nervous, then just be nervous. I ain't going to tell about your family business. I'm not talking about that. Don't be carnal. I'm talking about the stuff I teach you that's spiritual. I told him this morning, I said, I said, thank you for what you did this morning when we got to prayer. I said, you finally did something without being asked. That's what I told him. Did I tell you that? He said, yikes. Because here's the deal. I said, watch this. You don't never have to be concerned about stepping over or stepping on somebody's toes when you see something that's void that needs to be filled. When folk get mad because you stepped on their toes to do something, it means they didn't do what's supposed to be done. Because I can't fill a void that's already filled. Is that right? I got to put all these lives. I'm building a foundation. All these lives got to go. You stepped over. He looked over me. How you did my job? Because you didn't do it. If you had done your job, I would never be able to fill a spot that was void. Lord, dealt with me this morning. Some of y'all have left open spaces in the kingdom of God. You ain't filled a spot yet. You've got to feel something. That's good. It got to be more aligned than praising God. It has to be more so, baby, than coming to the house praising God with your family. Because now you need to be producing something in the kingdom. The Lord doesn't want you to just to be the bomb on your job. You got to be the bomb digging in the kingdom. Does it make sense? You got to make the devil real nervous. You got to know that when we do on our job, you know how you come into a place, you're like, at work we're going to do this. At work, or the computer one like this, or the straight one like this. So when you come to the house of God, when God allowed when God, yes Lord, allowed Pharaoh to train Moses.
Yes, yes.
It was for Moses to lead God's people.
Yes, my God. Yes.
You hear that? So whatever you get out there, yeah, let Pharaoh teach you. But it don't stop right there. It's for you to produce in God's kingdom and make God's kingdom look like Pharaoh's system, but without the deception.
Yes.
That's what it's easy. You into hair, you into looking beautiful. You see folk in the pews, don't be like, oh, she look a mess. No. That's your ministry. I don't care what they'll tell you. They'll tell you. In my 20-something years doing hair, I give away a lot of free hairdos. Because sometimes you just want to sow a seed. Watch this. You can't talk about folk you ain't interceded for. That's really good. So you can't say, I don't know, Shantika, why she be doing like that? She need to get herself together. Okay, here's the thing. Okay. Shantika, man, you need to get yourself together. Well, let me help you. When the last time you turned your prayer over for Shantika? Did you really pray fast for Shantika? Or you just wagging your mouth? When you really in it and you really believe it, then you put some skin in the game. Then you go to God and say, God, I've been on my face for 3 months for Shantika. I expect some deliverance to take place. If you ain't doing that, you are a gossiper at best. When all the foundation back, it gotta come back. All the foundation gotta come back. Gotta come back. Because we get confused with there's no mountain too high, no mountain no coming after me. We just get lost. We get lost. We get lost in all that. The river of my worship flow to you. Watch this. Your river ain't flowing if you are disobedient. I gotta strip all that down and we gotta rebuild. We gotta rebuild the temple. We gotta rebuild the temple. Because we get confused. So folk think that because it's a small church that God is not here. You think because it's a big church that God is approved it. The Bible says there is a way that seemeth right.
Yes.
Oh, this is an even better scripture. Woman of God, just pull it up on my spirit. The Bible says, and I paraphrase, that broad is the way that leadeth. But narrow. Watch this. When you can fit 500 people on a narrow road and they stretch out this way, it's awesome. Okay? If there's going to be 5,000 in God and it's on a narrow road, that means somebody is walking behind somebody that's following God. Okay? That broad is the way, is that you don't take all that anymore. No. I'm just going to do this. I ain't going to wear no more turtlenecks in July because that was bondage. Yeah, I don't want you to turn that because you're going to die in Montgomery. So wear your low-cut shirt. But when you wear a low-cut shirt, ladies, watch this. Because I shop for my wife, I know they creative. When you go, if you don't like old-fashioned stuff, go to nice contemporary stores like I like to go to. Go to Buckles. When you go to Buckles, when you buy their clothes, most of their clothes are made for you to put on in layers. The stuff that Buckles orders for their ladies are for shirts to be off your shoulder, all this. But watch this, what they do. They have a wall on the left-hand side, right in the corner, and it's called extra long. It comes in every shade in the rainbow. They're called tanks, and it says to be layered underneath. And guess who built Buckles? It wasn't an apostolic Pentecostal preacher. I gotta help us today. I gotta help us because we keep trying to make excuses. That ain't the proper style. It is the style to layer. It is the style because they put it in the stores. It's not your style because your style is to be loose and uncovered. Timothy said this. Timothy said this real good. He said it with some boldness. He said, that's why God called me to be a preacher. Go read the text. That's what he said. He said, that's why he called me to preach the gospel. He said, so, since he called me to be the preacher of the gospel, I want the men to never cease to pray. Did you read that? He said, I want the men to pray with their hands lifted everywhere. That's what he said. Watch this. Then he follows and says this, and I want the women to be dressed modestly. We got it flipped around. The men are dressed modestly, and the women are praying and worshiping everywhere. Uh-oh. Every time you come to church for prayer meeting, women. Intercessor conference, women. Me keep saying, that's not my personality. What do you mean? Prayer is not a personality. I don't know why we keep making that up. I'm tearing that down too. That's a lie. It's a lying demon to make the priest be out of order so that the enemy can destroy his family. Well, Pastor, I'm telling you, I ain't got no family. Well, he'll destroy you and your apartment. We're tearing it up today. And we're coming back the next 3 weeks. So if you don't like today, it's getting worse. I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm telling you what God is saying. This whole thing is out of whack. Everybody believing they're the same. You got believers over here. We can smoke weed, we can drink, cuss, and sleep around the folk, still speak in tongues. We die at our funeral. We got angel wings. And you got believers over here that's living for God. They beat themselves black and blue. They used to be on. They love weed, bro. They love weed, but they say I'm gonna give the weed up because I want God. I'm gonna let the weed go because I just want to be holy. I want to be sanctified. I want to be pure. I want to make sure that it's pleasing unto God. So we die and then we go to heaven. Well, why I had to give up my weed and my holding around, and you ain't got to give yours up, and we still all go to heaven? Something's crazy about that. I want to be a whole too. I don't know why you keep thinking, because we speak in tongues and walk in glory, and the Lord uses us, that we don't have no flesh. Yeah, I ain't ugly. I could have an adulterous relationship if I want to. Well, my son buzzed my bubble yesterday. So my daughters were telling me, Dad, you really look young. My son said, Daddy looks old, but he ain't looking young. It probably was the Holy Ghost just pulling me on back to them and saying, you ain't got what you think you got, so you just need to stay where you are. But it's the whole truth. And why would you give up all to follow Jesus and then hang with folks that ain't giving up all to follow Jesus and you keep telling them we all on our way to heaven? If God requires a standard of me, then he requires a standard of you. Not because I'm a preacher, because I'm a child of the kingdom. I'm a citizen of the kingdom. And this is the requirement for every citizen in God's kingdom. You can have a seat. I got to shift away to that optional walking with God. Because you ain't got the key to the church, so that means you ain't got to be here all the time. That's not what it means. That's not what it means. You ain't got the key to Disney World either, but you there when it's open. Watch this. And paid $900 to get in if you went with more than one person. You ain't got a key to the church, and all you give is $1. You can't just show up for that? Just all this stuff, Shanika. And so what happens is, if Eli does not correct his sons, then it perpetuates a generation of thinking that God is okay with a bunch of foolishness. And he's not okay with it. So I close with this scripture today. I close with the foundational scripture, and we'll come to it in the next couple of weeks if the Lord tarries. Proverbs 22, I believe. Proverbs 22. 22 and 8. Yeah. 22 and 28. Remove not the ancient landmark. I love this. Which thy fathers have set. Close your Bible. We'll build on that next week. You can't, Jacoby. You may not have agreed with everything your mama told you while you was growing up. But it wasn't for you to agree with. It was for you to follow. Proverbs 22 and verse 28. Remove not. There's no wiggle room in there. It says remove not the old landmarks which thy fathers have set. Well, Daddy died, Mom died. That was back in the 60s. Moses dead too. And we still asking God for glory. You know what? Peter good and gone. And we still believe in God to fill us with the Holy Ghost. So if you want to be technical, everybody that God inspired to write some part of the scripture, all of them are dead. I don't think none of them left. Somebody still here? From the Bible? Okay. Jesus. Watch this. But this is what Jesus did. He's still not here in flesh. What he did was he left his spirit now to live inside of you so you can operate like he operated when he was here. All right? I don't like to go, like when we go to Jessica's hometown, to Springfield. Springfield looks totally different from when we got married 17 years ago. They have done so many modifications. The old strip that we used to come, that main strip, I don't know what highway that is. I don't know what that number is. 12? 24. Well, one of them. The main strip will come right into Springfield. They built up all that. You just got all kind of fast food, all kind of stuff. It looks nothing like what it used to look like. Watch this. But there are certain corners that she gets to when we get to her old neighborhood where her grandmother lived. there are certain things that are still in place, landmarks, boundaries, territories that you can see before we even get on the street. Right? You can still see her grandmother's house right there. Great, painted, right there. That lets her know that though I see modifications up the road, I'm still in the right place. So don't get confused by likes. Don't get confused by social media presence. None of that changes the original foundation. Holiness. And if churches were really use social media for why God allowed it to be released in this time, there will be more folk living holy. Let me say for the folk in the back. It's another section right there. God, can I tell you what God told me to stand so I can be quiet? God told me some years ago, he said, I don't need preachers to create atmospheres of carnality. That's what he told me. In my attempt to be contemporary and in my desire, and when I was trying to do away with God, I was trying to say, how do we win this generation? I want to be relevant. I want to be. He said, no, I did not design you. I didn't design preachers or pastors to create carnality.
Oh, yes.
That's why the world is there. Here's the real truth. I thank God for gyms and all that stuff for church folk, and you can run and sweat in Jesus. But watch that. We don't need the church to become the YMCA. They're all over the city. We need the church to be the glory CA, the deliverance CA. The church keeps trying to be like them. Let's add a weight room so the church can come and work out. So we do that. We go into debt. They use it for 3 months, and then folk don't do it no more. Okay? Let's add a gym because we don't want none of the boys to grow up and don't want to be serving God. So we add a gym to the church. The boys play basketball. They turn 19. They still leave. Because if you still didn't put the desire on the inside of them to love God and serve God, they'll just change gymnasiums. I hope y'all hear what the Lord is saying. Let's take the young people bowling. Let's go bowling. But at the end of after we bowl, they still got to know, for God you're going to live, and for God you got to die. There still has to be a line of demarcation. Whose side are you leaning on? And right now, everything that you're doing looks like you're leaning to the wrong side. So it is my job to make you lean back this way. Now, somebody say boundaries. Boundaries. Structure. Coverings. Say all of the aforementioned. Protects me from death.